Honkai Star Rail is literal peak when it comes to making male characters, or husbandos if you will. I don't know how they do it, but I swear to God, every single time they reveal a husbando, I'm like, yeah, this handsome man is getting in my pockets. And what's greater than seeing these attractive men in the game? It's shipping these attractive men together. And that's exactly what I'm here for today. So, as you can see in the title, we will go over a bunch of ships that I've seen before, and I'm gonna give my thoughts on them basically. You'll see what I mean in a minute. Quick note though that not all of the ships I mentioned are ones that I have initially shipped necessarily, but they are definitely valid, and I just want to acknowledge ships that other people love and keep an open mind. Another thing that I want to note before we start is I will not be covering any ships that are portrayed as problematic, and God knows we have seen so many of those in boys love media in general. Oh my god, the amount of problematic BL pairs and mangas and manhwas I have seen is beyond the Milky Way, bro. So I can literally make a whole separate video about it, but that's not happening today. Today we're literally just gonna vibe and have fun over some gay headcanons and be in our delulu land. So welcome to my PowerPoints where I just keep yapping about things that people don't care about, but I do, so that's the only thing that matters. Okay, let's get started. So as I've mentioned earlier, I'll be giving my thoughts on these ships and the potential story dynamics that I'm thinking of, and these are the things that I'll be going over. First, I'll say whether this delulu story would be low-key BL, or if it's gonna be some very explicit yaoi. Ooh. I'll obviously also mention who I think would top and who would bottom. Yeah, don't look at me like that. Guys, this is very important, trust me. Then we're gonna go over the ship dynamic. So, for example, there's different tropes, like one where one of the guys is bubbly and goofy with many friends, and the other one is just a stone-faced loner, or the fan favorite, enemies to lovers, etc. Then we're gonna get to the best part, in my opinion, the plot synopsis of this headcanon story. I actually asked ChatGPT to help write this synopsis because, look, I'm not the best writer. I have a lot of ideas in this brain of mine, but I'm not so good at writing them out. And let me tell you, these are quite the synopsis, I must say. Finally, we mentioned potential genres that this delulu story will be like, and before you ask, no, I don't know which manhwa this picture is from. I literally just searched the BL manhwa images, and this was one of the first images that came up. You can try it too, trust me, it's gonna pop up very, very quickly. But anyway, moving on. So, I'm pretty sure you've all seen this coming. The first ship we're gonna go over is Danhong and Kalis. Now, personally, I see these two as more of a family than an actual romantic pair, because I see the Astral Express as one big family. But I do see why people ship them, and I do acknowledge and respect it. And I also see a lot of fan art of them, and I mean a lot. And they're both very handsome. Also, this is going off a little bit of tangent, but did anybody else notice that Dan Hong's color palette literally matches the gay flag? You can search the gay flag up. I don't know if I want to put it here or not. We'll see. I'm bad at editing. It's a very simple thing to do, but I don't know. I'll try to put it on the video. If not, just search it up. Literally, just search it up. It's easy, but these two have literally matching colors. When I say these two, I mean the gay flag and Dan Hong. But anyway, let's get back to this. Let's get back to the topic. Do whatever you want with the info that I just mentioned. Anyways, is this pair in my delulu story a respectful and appropriate boys love, or is it explicit yaoi? So, the way I see it, it is absolutely more low-key than explicit. I think the dynamic I have in mind in a story would focus more on exploring the relationship and its development than more so of the fan servicey sexual scenes. Like, they'll put on some quote-unquote intimate intercourse scenes here and there, but number one, they would be very censored, and they would just be shown as more of an intimate scene than it is just full-on yaoi. Like, the scene would feel very intimate and rewarded, after all the relationship struggles and development that they have in the story. Hell, even the first kiss scene will take very long for it to happen. As long as kiss scenes take in K-drama, so I imagine. But yeah, that's definitely gonna be it. It's gonna be a low-key BL. Okay, next. Who is gonna be the top? And who is the bottom? Honestly, I can see it being both ways. And if these two characters were real, they would probably be switching around often. But for the sake of fiction and the story dynamic in my head, and for the sake of taking a stance and standing by it, this is my answer. The top would be Don Hong, and our baby gamer Kalos is gonna be the bottom. I just think that would be very, very cute. But like I said, they can switch if they want. Yeah, whatever. Okay, this is where the character tropes come in. How do I see the personalities of these characters, and how do they attract each other? So, Don Hong is definitely gonna be the cool and mysterious guy who gives the aura that he has a lot of secrets, and potentially a very painful backstory that caused him to be the way he is today. Cuff cuff. Blade. Kalis is gonna be the more expressive guy, who is going to be funny and he gets along with everybody ever. His social battery is literally off the charts. He's going to be a pure ball of joy, and he is a gamer, man. Let's not forget the gamer part, guys. It's important. He sees Don Hong, he gets allured by him very easily. He wants to learn more about him, and he doesn't really understand why he feels so attracted to this man, despite him being so cold and as stoic as he is. Now let's dive further into this dynamic by going over the synopsis. Okay, here we go. So this is the plot synopsis of the story that I have in my delulu land, all these headcanons, all these fanfics. I asked ChatGPT to help write all of this, and it's definitely more of a relationship synopsis rather than a story synopsis, if I'm being honest with you. But it still suffices the way it is. Trust me, it is good and juicy. It's definitely something that you want to hear about, so let's not care whether it's a plot synopsis or if it's a relationship synopsis. Sit down, relax, and I'll read it for you, because these plot synopsis descriptions are like multiple slides long. So yeah, here goes. In a vibrant, interstellar world, two unlikely souls fight their destinies intertwined. Don Hung, a cool, composed, and enigmatic man, carries the weight of many secrets. His stoic demeanor and mysterious past make him a lone wolf, often keeping others at arm's length. On the other hand, Kalis is a lively, energetic, and goofy gamer who brings light and warmth to those around him. I like how it says goofy gamer in the description. Anyway, next slide. The story begins when Kalis, always curious and full of life, becomes intrigued by Don Hong's quiet yet commanding presence. I wouldn't say Don Hong has a commanding presence, but okay, I'm sorry. I'm gonna stop interrupting these plot synopsis so you can hear in peace. Let's continue. Despite his usually carefree nature, Kalis finds himself drawn to the air of mystery that surrounds Don Hong. It starts with innocent curiosity, but soon, Kalis can't help but feel a deeper attraction. His heart races whenever Don Hong is near, and his thoughts are consumed by the silent, brooding man. However, the drama intensifies as the secrets of Don Hong's past resurface. Old enemies and unresolved traumas threaten to tear them apart. Kalis, ever the optimist, tries to stand by Don Hong, but the weight of their circumstances begin to take its toll. Kalis is thrust into situations where his loyalty and love for Don Hong are tested, and he struggles to maintain his usual upbeat demeanor. Whew! Okay, and there you have it. That's where the plot synopsis stops. It's pretty great, isn't it? I would love to see a whole fanfic about this, and I can imagine that old enemies and unresolved traumas involve Blade at some point. I think that would make the drama very juicy. Maybe Blade and Don Hong used to be together, and then we discovered how it all went downhill, And then through all of that, Kalis just tries his best to be with his man. Period. Okay, as for the main genre, aside from boys' love, this story is definitely going to involve so much drama. First, we have the relationship exploration between them. It's gonna keep going up and down whenever a new problem comes in, or the past secrets relating to Don Hong that make him step back from Kalis and hesitate to chase after the man that he likes. And then we also have Blade coming into the picture to ruin everything because that's what he does. But at the end of it all, they end up together because that's what we're here for. We want that happy gay ending. And that should be all for this ship. Let's move on to the next one. The last for today's video. I was gonna make more ships, but I didn't realize it was gonna take a lot of time to talk about one ship, so it's probably just gonna be 2 ships per video, maybe 3 if I feel like it. But anyway, this next ship is probably one of the most popular ships in Honkai Star Rail, and honestly, it is actually my personal favorite too. Here we go! Dr. Ratio and Aventurine! I mean, come on. Did you really think I was gonna make this kind of video without including the Kings of Gayness in Honkai Star Rail? I genuinely don't know what's gayer. Being gay or whatever these two got going on between them. I mean, they already have a magnificent dynamic in the game that we literally don't gotta create one for them. But anyways, let's go through the list. First, is a love story between them low-key or explicit yaoi? And boy oh boy, do we all know the answer to that. Oh my god. There's only one answer anyways. With the dynamic that they have with each other, their love story would be the smuttiest, most explicit yaoi in the Star Rail universe. And I'm not even sure if this stuff they have done in my delulu story is gonna be censored or not. Like, they're gonna be that explicit. Obviously, at least in my head canon, Ratio is gonna be the top and Aventurine's gonna be the bottom. I just think that's perfect. I don't really need to explain. If you do need an explanation, you will understand when we dive deep into blah blah blah. I can't even English anymore. Ah, I love them so much. You will understand when we dive into the ship dynamic, which is here. Anywho, now, when it comes to the ship dynamic, their chemistry Ratio is gonna be definitely one of a kind. Actually, they're both one of a kind. Ratio is gonna be your condescending and cocky guy who just looks down on everyone else, who isn't as educated as he is. He's very brutal and cold with the way that he talks, and he's always annoyed by Aventurine. Aventurine, on the other hand, just loves teasing Ratio, God forbid. He intentionally pisses him off. No matter how harsh Dr. Ratio's comments are to Aventurine, he just smirks. He takes it, and he still follows him around, trying to get his attention. Also, need I remind you of their beautiful height difference? It is a perfect height difference. Like, Aventurine is not too short for Ratio, but there's also still just a very noticeable height difference going on, and I love that for them. Finally, getting into the best part, the plot synopsis, or just a further dive into how their relationship dynamic would be. And I am gonna warn you this time, ChatGPT's description with the synopsis was so long. The synopsis is so much longer than the one with Don Hong and Kalis. This one takes 8 slides. So it is gonna take a bit to finish reading it, but trust me, it is worth it, because boy, oh boy, it's so damn juicy. And I love it. So here we go. Sit down and enjoy listening to my 10 out of 10 audiobook. I don't know why I skipped a slide, but anyway, just sit down, sit down. In the sprawling, interconnected world of Star Rail, 2 men from vastly different walks of life are brought together by fate. Ratio, a condescending and cocky doctor, prides himself on his intellect and brutal honesty. His sharp tongue and uncompromising nature often alienate those around him, but he remains steadfast in his dedication to education. His imposing presence and manly demeanor command respect and fear in equal measure. On the other hand, Aventurine is Ratio's polar opposite, laid back, flirty, and playful. He revels in the thrill of gambling and the art of teasing. His carefree attitude and mischievous charm make him a magnet for trouble and excitement. Despite their contrasting personalities, Aventurine finds himself inexplicably drawn to Ratio's unwavering confidence and cutting remarks. Their paths cross when their separate missions shared the same goal, forcing them to work together. The mission's high stakes and constant danger bring out the worst in their clashing personalities. Ratio's condescending attitude and Aventurine's playful teasing ignite a spark of rivalry and tension between them, turning every interaction into a battle of wits and wills. As the mission progresses, Aventurine begins to see through Ratio's harsh exterior, recognizing the passion and dedication driving his seemingly cold demeanor. Intrigued and somewhat infatuated, Aventurine makes it his personal mission to break through Ratio's walls. He uses every trick in his book, from flirty comments to playful pranks, to get under Ratio's skin. Ratio, initially irritated by Aventurine's antics, starts to feel a reluctant attraction to the gambler's carefree spirits and bold advances. Aventurine's persistence and genuine interest begin to wear down Ratio's defenses, revealing a more vulnerable side of the stoic doctor. Their heated exchanges gradually shift from antagonistic to charged with unspoken desire. One fateful night, after a particularly intense confrontation, the simmering tension between them reaches a boiling point. In the privacy of their shared quarters, the line between rivalry and passion blurs. Aventurine's teasing becomes more provocative, pushing Ratio to his limits. Overwhelmed by desire, Ratio takes control, and their encounter explodes into a night of raw, intense intimacy. God, this description is killing me. Anywho, moving on. Their first night together is a mix of aggression and tenderness. Ratio's dominant nature clashing with Aventurine's playful submission. The heated, steamy encounters that follow are filled with passionate power struggles and deep emotional connection. Aventurine's playful teasing is met with Ratio's commanding presence, creating a dynamic charged with erotic tension and physical desire. Do we have another slide? Yes, we do. As their relationship deepens, the dynamic between them continues to evolve. Ratio, still the more manly and dominant partner, begins to appreciate Aventurine's laid-back and teasing nature. Aventurine, in turn, finds solace in Ratio's strength and honesty. Their bond is tested by external threats and personal challenges, but they learn to navigate the complexities of their relationship. And I think that's the last slide. Yep, don't look at the slide that I just showed. That's a spoiler. Oh god, okay. Ooh, that was a lot. But it was good, wasn't it? Yeah. So basically, what this plot synopsis is telling us is they would have the juiciest, most intense, and hardcore intercourse session in the world of Star Rail. And I, for one, wish them all the best. And that they enjoy every single second of those, juicy, intimate sessions. Thank you, ChatGPT. Okay, genre! Honestly, though, if Ratio and Aventurine did get their own yaoi franchise, it would have no significant plot at all. Like, they'd have a hook, a little something to get the story going, just like the synopsis was showing, with the whole mission clash going on, whatever mission that was. But other than that, its pure purpose would literally just be fan service. Like, it's gonna be filled with the smuttiest 18+ scenes out there in yaoi. Me personally, I see that as a big dub. I mean, pop off, kings, you do you. Oh, Okay, we're almost not. We're already done. Oh god, that was fast. In conclusion, all husbandos in Star Rail should just make out with each other and embrace the gayness in them. And again, no, I do not know who these characters are in the picture. I literally just searched up BL manhwa and they appeared. They just seemed like a very healthy couple who have very consensual intercourse with each other, unlike many yaoi series out there, good lord. So I was like, yeah, let's put these pictures in because they're so cute. But yeah, that's all I have for this video. I don't know what else to add on. If you have any other yaoi ships in mind from Star Rail, strictly from Star Rail, just mention them in the comments and I'll take some of those ships to talk about in the next parts, because this is definitely not gonna be the end of it. But yeah, that's gonna be all. Have a good day, good evening, good afternoon, good night, whatever the time zone is, wherever you are, and I'll see you later. Bye.